liquid stuff, 21 billion. Total assets, 45 billion. Look at Facebook. These have the same, like, exact same market cap.
Right, yes.
Facebook cash, they have 44 billion. So they
Right,
have like four times the cash almost, three times
right.
the cash. Total current assets, 65 billion. Total assets, 146 billion. And these, like, how are they valued the same? How do
It's
they have the same market cap?
it's ridiculous, man. Like he's selling the future, and people are
But even like,
they're into it.
what is it? How's it worth more than Facebook? Like really, how's it more? How is what he's doing more valuable than Facebook? I just
I
don't
feel
get it.
like when someone buys Tesla shares, like the common person, they're
Yeah.
kind of buying Elon Musk. But I don't know what's driving like the big money to keep buying
Well,
Tesla.
here's one question. So on our Twitter account, I had our first ever retweet today.
Yeah, huh? Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I asked him,
Congrats.
here's the question I asked. I said, so if Tesla's not overvalued, then does that mean Facebook is significantly undervalued?
Right, yes.
So
Exactly.
that's what it would mean, right? That all these other companies are just way undervalued.
Right. So everything should be
Maybe they
trading
are.
much higher. It doesn't make sense.
It's like, and then like Bitcoin 2, it went over 40,000.
Dude, it hit 40K, man. It's just like everything's on a rip.
Man, the first time I bought a Bitcoin, but then I've since got rid of all of them and just have that ETF. But my first Bitcoin I bought, it was like $400.
Yeah, my my friend used to buy Bitcoin to buy like weed online or something, and Bitcoin was only like 600 bucks at that point, and he was buying like a decent amount. So if he just held on to any of it, he makes so much money.
There's a lot of people like that just feel sick.
Yeah,
I mean, Bitcoin has to implode too, right? I just feel like everything's just
yeah.
out of
Well,
control.
right now the dollar is really weak, so I guess people are seeing Bitcoin as like an inflation hedge. Like you would invest in anything besides the dollar right now. Like anything is better than cash. So you're either going to go into the equities market, but people don't really understand that. And Bitcoin is kind of like a currency, so maybe they're just like,
I
all right,
mean,
I'm
but
gonna.
then why wouldn't you buy a different currency or like but you're not seeing these moves in gold. You're not seeing these moves. You're only seeing the move in Bitcoin.
Yeah, because maybe Bitcoin is like the shiny object that everyone's kind of like, all right, this is going to be protected from
Yeah. Oh,
all attackers.
I read this article. It was saying how like with the paper gold market, I guess like with all the ETFs, that somehow the ETFs help to like slow or like gold's price would essentially be higher if there were no ETFs. Is what the
Mm,
argument was making. Which
yeah,
I didn't
maybe.
really understand that though. Is it because people aren't buying the actual asset? They're buying.
The ETFs, they buy futures contracts. They're not actually buying gold. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like if I was able to short, I mean, Tesla, I don't know. I'm close to thinking about getting Tesla puts. Be-
You're gonna see one big move in Tesla, and like there's gonna be huge volume. And after you see that one day, like all the buyers are gonna be tapped out. Like there's gonna be no more buyers. So the price has no choice but to go down.
So you think we're not there yet, though?
I I I don't think we're there. I don't think we're there yet. I think we're getting really close. Like there's at some point there's just gonna be so much FOMO that like everyone gets in, and then after that, that's when the smart money's gonna be like, all right, I'm done, I'm out. Like the smart money's just gonna push it, and then let they're just gonna create bag holders, and then it's just gonna go down.
Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting to think about it that way. So, but the thing is, like, I think everyone thinks that that's going to happen, but it's kind of like, is it 2 months? Is it 2 years? Like, no one
Yeah,
knows.
sooner than you think, man.
Yeah, I think with Tesla it has to. It's got no, but yeah, but at some point it has to capitulate,
Yes, it can't keep going up forever like this.
and then as soon as yeah, so at some point the smart money will see that There's nowhere else to go, and it will dump, and then everyone else will start to dump it too.
They'll panic sell, and then the people who don't sell, like the mom and dads, they're gonna be the bag
Do
holders.
you think at that point, like, and then probably just because Tesla's so overvalued, you know what we're going to have happening, so it's going to fall, and then the retail investors, like people like us, almost, maybe they'll like start buying it again, but the real
Yeah,
money's not going to
yeah,
until
and
it
it'll
just
kind of come up a little bit, and then it'll keep continuing down. So
it's
you'll see a very clear signal. Like one day Tesla's just gonna shoot up like 200 points, and then that same day it's gonna drop like 150 points. Then you know it's over.
dang.
It happened a few years ago. If you look at the Tesla chart, like at the end of 2019,
Mm-hmm.
it rocketed, and then one day it did that. It like just shot up and then came back down, and then after that, it just like consolidated for like 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, with it's gotta the bubble has to burst.
the bubble has to
It
burst.
just
Yes,
has to. It's all, man, it's
there's just
funny.
a lot of buyers.
There's just one guy on Twitter I follow, Gary Black. I think that's his name. He does really good, like Tesla. He's like all over Tesla all
Uh,
the time, and he's had models that show. I think he used to work at Goldman. He has models that show his models like, oh, Tesla's undervalued. But even like yesterday, he was kind of like, it's no longer undervalued compared to like Amazon and
oh
Facebook
wow,
and Google.
wow, wow.
And it's crazy to think that it's Tesla's worth more, it's like as much as Facebook or more again.
Yeah, it's weird to think that Elon Musk is more rich than Jeff Bezos, and Jeff
Post
Bezos like
divorce.
he literally created
Yeah.
e-commerce
Post divorce though.
post divorce. That's funny.
Yeah, man. So I guess one more we got to talk about plug. So
We gotta talk about Plug, man.
jam, dude, to the moon. As much
Dude,
as I think Tesla's overvalued, I just don't want to say that about plug, even though maybe with plug I can just like see the potential, and with Tesla I don't.
right. I mean, there's definitely more growth in Plug, right? Especially now that you have this partnership with a huge company in Korea.
Oh yeah.
It legitimizes it.
Man, oh, and then that guy was on CNBC today just talking up a Schumer.
Uh,
I think that's big because for the state of New York, they lost a lot of money last
right.
year.
Yes.
Here's one of the reasons I really like Plug because state of New York lost a ton of money. Businesses are leaving the state. Like, what better than for Schumer than to get Plug to build one of their factories,
Right. Yes.
right? And so then New York, they can have this like this landmark company that's
Right.
clean energy and doing
Yeah.
tons of
Yeah.
jobs and just making tons of money.
Yeah. And if the factory works and the model works, then it's gonna be more business for Plug.
One thing I want to try to figure out because it talks about in that article about the Korea thing that they see the market at like 30 to 40 billion.
Okay.
They're like we see the Korea hydrogen market by 2040 it could be like 30 billion or 40 billion.
Okay.
I don't know what that means for Plug though. Like I don't.
I don't know. Well, I mean, the SG Global, they own 10% of Plug now.
Yeah.
So I
So
guess whatever they do, then Plug is going to be involved in that
yeah.
capacity.
So for that deal, they just didn't go on the market and buy the shares. They went to
They
Plug and bought like Plug owners.
they they bought Plug shares at the market rate of that day. I don't know if they went to the market.
I mean, how could you fill that order? It would just.
I don't know. Yeah, you would have to build it like over time.
Oh, I wonder how that works. I wonder. So does a bank? They just they're like, hey, we're gonna get you the shares.
The bank is the one who gets you to share. I guess they go around and then they start asking hedge funds and whatever, like, hey, are you like interested in selling like a big block of whatever at X price? And then once they gather like 20 orders, then they're like, all right,
Would
they sell
you
it.
did you see the price? It was a good price. It was like
It,
29.
yeah, it was like pretty good, man.
And it hasn't been that low in a long time.
It was like like after that big ramp up, then it kind of like
Oh yeah.
consolidated. So maybe when it started coming back up, that's kind of like maybe that deal had already happened. Like all the shares have been accumulated during the consolidation phase, and now since there's like no more like less shares available, it like starts going up.
How high do you think it can go?
So I do have a target. Let me look at it.
I'm ready for it to hit 3,000 and split. I did. They can do the 5 for 1, and then we can run it up to like 5,000. Do a 10 for 1.
So I got a target. My first target was 42.21,
Okay.
and then it hit that, and then 45.42. Actually, so it hit the 45 42 today, and then it kind of like just hovered there for most of the day, and then at the end it started ripping again.
Hmm.
So then the next target I have is 49.51, which I don't know. It seems like it's gonna hit tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably hit that tomorrow. It's
And then the last target is 54. I think by the time it gets to 50, 49, 54, like I imagine that it's gonna have to start coming down because it's like getting really extended from all of the moving averages.
yeah, it's. I mean, maybe not though. Like no other stock has like run up and come down. Like
So they say like when it gaps up, it's like a 3 gap up maximum. After the third gap up, which would be tomorrow, then you're kind of like, all right, now it's probably gonna consolidate.
so, like
Can't gap up like 4 times.
so, like Tesla. What gap is it at?
Let me see.
Dude, I can't believe it just ripped. Here's what I think is going to happen with Tesla because I feel like more people now are doing like covered calls and they're starting to sell calls and do all this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
At some point, it's going to people will have
It
shares,
feeds into it.
but they'll sell calls and then they'll get screwed. Then it's going to fall and they'll get screwed going
Yeah.
down too.
Dude, so I bought a call yesterday for Tesla 780, right? I bought it like it was like $5. It went up to like 10, and then the riot thing started, and then it fell back to like 6 or 7, so I sold it.
Oh,
And then this morning it just started ripping. That $5 call became $38.
damn.
And if I held it to tomorrow, it'd probably be like 50. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, yo, if I just bought 10 of it, I'd be like a rich person.
Man, your instincts were right to get
Yeah,
in
but
on that.
then I don't know with the riot thing, and I was like, oh, I should probably buy the dip, but I just got scared.
There's no reason for the market to pull back anytime soon because you have all this stuff on the way. Like
Right,
those checks are going to get done. COVID relief is going to get done.
right.
Infrastructure, like today, it's like 50-50. I think those are three massive things.
Yeah, but inflation's gonna be an issue.
I thought I saw the Fed was said they're okay with like 3% inflation now.
Yeah, but like you don't know, I don't know. Inflation like it impacts like real people. Those rising
No, it
costs.
does. Yeah. Oh, did I tell you I've been moving to cash more.
Okay.
And I think I may keep doing it. I don't know. I just feel nervous. It's so the
I
market.
keep moving to cash, and then I find like a new investment to get into, but I'm like, I just keep setting sell targets now. Like try to kind of be in and out. I mean, I know it's not as easy for you to
Yeah.
do that, but
So what are your new? Do you have any? So here I'll end it pretty soon. But you have any new like names to look at?
MVIS.
NVIS.
It's like $5, but it looks like it's gonna do a reversal to like $8.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, it's like a
Do
quick
you
3 bucks.
have any? Do you do dividend stocks? Do you care about dividends?
I do. I want to do that more this year. I was like thinking about creating a portfolio just for dividend stocks.
You know, I think the arc is you start a brokerage account with like no money, and then you do penny stocks. Then from penny stocks, you do like high growth stocks, and then you do
Yes.
options, and then you
Yes.
finally have money, and then you care about dividends. And then you go
Yeah.
that then you get a ton of money and you care about bonds.
Right. Yeah, I think like ideally you have the dividend portfolio, then you kind of have like a long-term portfolio
Hmm.
of just companies you believe in,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you have like a trading account that you can just be in and out of.
Oh, that's smart.